Hey everyone, welcome to Tuesday Masterclass with the Giver Marketing Network. We're here with Mark, and Mark's owner, founder, CEO of SEO Game. Remember that, mark that down, SEO Game. You'll want to connect with him soon. But here we go. We're going to jump in. I'm going to ask Mark a question or two, and then he's going to go into a masterclass presentation. I'm going to interrupt him with questions, and then we're going to have a round table at the end of our time together today. If you like what you're seeing, click like, start asking questions, subscribe to the channels that you're seeing. Of course, we want to stay in touch, right? So that'll be good. But let's get the conversation going here, Mark. I'm excited. So you're coming to us from as founder of SEO Game. Tell us a little bit about your story. Like, how did you even get into the marketing kind of business, kind of search engine optimization world? How did that start?
Well, in 1996, I was still in college, Tim, and I was running an ISP, and we were doing everything college kids do.
Internet service provider, right? Is that what that stands for?
ISP, yeah. It was
Okay.
in the early days in 1994, 95, and I noticed with all these companies coming on board online in that era, we had people who wanted to be found on the internet, and search engine optimization was a thing. I learned quickly that this is something that is in high demand,
Mm-hmm.
and I jumped right into it. And just, wanting to raise a family and get
Mm-hmm.
started with all the cool things you do when you're graduating from college. I was 29 years old, so I was a little older college return, trying to figure out what I was doing.
Sure.
But I started a company called SEO Game,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in an area where it was crazy busy with lots of really good businesses. And the mindset of businesses then, as it is today, has not changed. Everybody still wants that total visibility. Hotels wanted it in 1996, and hotels want to be number one today, right?
Yep. Yep.
So that was my specialty when I got started. But about 17 years ago, as a business owner and somebody who's doing SEO, search engine optimization, it got so crazy busy that I had to do a pivot because
Okay.
I couldn't do all the things that you want to do. I didn't have time anymore to fix fax machines for the real estate agent who was a client and always saying, I can't get my fax machine to work. Who uses fax machines anymore, right?
Nice
So you have
reference.
to do a
Nice
pivot.
reference. You just referenced a fax machine. That's really good. I like that.
So come down to it, I was already doing what I'm doing now 17 years ago, and that was floating websites that were given to me by agency owners,
Mm-hmm.
digital marketing companies that were already saying, Mark, get started on this website.
Mm-hmm.
We know what you can do, and then we'll pay for it, right?
So that people could find that website more on Google or Bing or whatever other search engines, right?
17 years ago, Google was the main thing, just as today. So you're right, absolutely right. I was doing visibility on the first page of Google, making websites get to the top, right?
Got it.
Get to the first page. And the owners of these websites were going, Yahoo, we're finally there. We hit the promised land. So what happens with the industry that I'm in is it got crazy busy, and I realized I was just a dime a dozen. Lots of SEO companies just started popping up. Everyone was an expert.
Right.
And I started white labeling.
Mm.
Performance-based SEO became the thing that I started doing for my partners. White label just means I work under the umbrella of another digital marketer or an SEO company.
That's how we
And
met, is you're like, hey, I can help the network out with search engine optimization and white label for any digital marketing company. If they don't want to do it, I can do it for them, and I'm one of the best. So,
and stay the best, right? You got to
right.
always stay the best in this journey. So I had an aha moment.
Mhm.
Just that's about it. It's like, voila, I can be a white label provider for other SEO, gravitate where all the company, I no longer have to prospect. And you know, that is my why today, is just how do I serve a digital marketer and SEO company to make them look good, never have anything come back to bite them, and have fun along the way doing it, because business owners are only having fun. Let's just be brutally honest, when they're making money. And if I could be a resource for them that
Yep.
helps them improve their services and make them more money, then I have fulfillment.
Yep.
And I live today on that same model. And it's just such a blessing to me and my family and the owners that I work with, and
Yep.
just everybody in that circle of who I serve every day.
Love it. Love it. So business owners that want to get more visits on their website, when people are searching for their industry or their type of service, they would come up more
Yeah.
prevalent than others, and they would kind of get the attention they deserve, which is kind of the mission of Giver Marketing Network, is to help causes and companies and bring more attention to them. And so whether you're a business owner, a marketing professional who wants to work with a solid white label uh, company like Mark has, which if you're a digital marketing professional, you know exactly what white label means. So that's going to be fun to be able to connect with Mark. Or if you're a ministry leader and you just want to learn about how people can find your ministry more prevalent, more often, and connect with those donors or those folks that you're wanting to impact more effectively and serve your community in your particular niche a little bit more, then this is the one you want to pay. This is the presentation you want to pay attention to, and Mark's the guy you want to listen to. So with that, Mark, thank you for sharing your story. Let's jump into some of the goodies. Like, what do you got for us visually today to help us remember what is important about SEO, search engine optimization?
Well, I've got a mastermind class for us. If we could show the slides. I'm Mr. and Mrs. Producer back behind the scenes. Thank you so much.
Here we go. Okay, let's do it.
Let's get this is fun. And I'm going to just give two definitions. One definition might come from the SEO company, and the definition that might come from a digital marketer expert. And the other one might just come from the definition of an owner of a website. So I'm going to speak to both of you, okay? First of all, to ask the most primary question is, what problems do SEO or search engine optimization companies fix? What do you think it is, Timothy?
I think it fixes the problem of being the best kept secret in your industry or in your region.
Wow, kept secret. Well, that's a pretty good definition, and that does sound like the definition from an expert, because
Okay.
you are an expert when it comes to these digital marketing, and we've had so many good conversations about that. However, what do you think the problem is that SEOs fix for the company owners of a website? And you being an owner of a website, and we're working on Giver Marketing Network together on getting popular with our keywords.
Yep.
I'm going to go to the next slide, and maybe this will answer. We're going to still just try and guess this answer, because there is a true answer.
Okay.
So
okay.
Do SEO companies mainly focus on their checklists, or is there something else? Because there's a lot of things you have to do as a business owner who runs an SEO company.
If you have I'm just thinking out loud here, but if you have a website and you're an owner of a company, or you have a brand of some kind that is represented on that website, I would think, you want it to be found. You want people to visit it. You want folks to, when they do visit it, one page and maybe even another page, they're not confused. When they do find you, it makes sense. But yeah, if somebody, I don't know, I'm just thinking, like, if they can't find you based on the way that they're searching, it's kind of weird, because it doesn't match up.
Well, I'm here to tell you, you're absolutely right. But I'm going to also tell you something. As a business owner running an SEO firm for 26 years, we have our checklist of getting sites, but it's relative to every website, because they're all different. We could be working on websites, and this is just going to hit the gamut. And if I missed any anybody in this, let me know. Okay, so you have owners of websites that run a software company.
Okay.
Sometimes we call them SaaS companies, software as a service. Sometimes we call them they're just selling software, right? E-commerce, people are selling stuff online. People are also branding their company name, and that's a reason. But normally we don't do SEO for branded because they're already branded. So organically they come up all the time, number one.
Sure.
But it could be a problem. And then we're working on campaigns that are related to national, regional, and local.
Okay.
And those are kind of the websites that I always have worked with. Now, if there's any others that I've missed, can you tell me about any other websites out there that don't?
No, it sounds like you can make your website be found based on geography, based on industry, based on specialty, based on anything you want it to be based on. It just depends on if you communicate that with your search engine optimization person.
Exactly. Now, I'm here to say that every business owner and digital marketer who assists the website owner, they are focused like a laser because there's livelihoods involved. Money is, some of the companies that I work with, digital marketers sometimes and owners of websites come to me and they say, Mark, this is 100% our livelihood. Don't mess it up. Right? But we need to improve. We need to improve it. We need to get higher rankings. And so,
what do you mean by higher rankings? Can you explain that?
That's what we're getting into right here. Do SEO companies solve another problem?
Okay.
I am here to say and speak only for myself that SEO companies solve one problem. We may have our checklists and things that we have to do to get the rankings, and we may do it in different orders because everything's relative. But we have one problem, and I think the owner really speaks to this more than the digital marketer. And this is the mission I have, to train digital marketers to speak as though that they are owners. Because sometimes we get into a little bit above, and we speak in geek speak. We don't speak direct.
Guilty.
This is
totally guilty. Yes.
This is what our sin is. This is what we're doing wrong as digital marketers. We do not tell the client and confirm with the client why they hire us in the first place.
Oh,
because
that's good.
An owner hires a digital marketer, an SEO company, for their confidence and their ability to do a job. So if a company owner comes to me, throw me a company owner that owns a website that you know, Tim. Tell instead of creating this imaginary person, the straw man, tell me. Let's nail down the company owner. Who do you know that you work with that owns a website?
Kingdom Warriors.
I love it. What do Kingdom Warriors do?
They sell NFTs and they produce movies based on that crowdfunding source.
Okay, that one is like foggy in my head because I'm not very familiar with NFTs. So what I would say to that owner, if the owner came to me and says, as your SEO company, I have one job to do. And that is, we're not going to talk about SEO, by the way. That's a 3-letter dirty word. We're going to talk about the other acronym, Get Me There, GMT.
Come on, tell us more.
Really, all they want is to have the confidence of the company with the track record and the ability not to mess things up and break their livelihood, right? And cause a disruption in that. But they really are looking for a problem to solve. And the only reason an owner of a website comes to a digital marketer in the first place is to get that problem solved. They don't want to hear from the SEO or digital marketer all the things that they're going to do, the checklist. Oh, we're going to optimize URL slugs. I'm reading off my list. We're gonna check your robots meta tags, and we're gonna provide clear and conscious metadata. All these
things. Like Star Trek. Like this sounds like a Star Trek episode.
But the problem we're solving, I hope you guys understand, it's get me there. And how do you get someone there unless they know what you're getting them there to? So
What is it? What are you getting them there to?
we're getting them to their empirical data and empirical evidence that proves to them that there's enough people out there in the World Wide Web that are searching for their website.
Got
So
it.
you have to discover their top 20 keywords. The 20-80 rule, some call it the 10-90 rule, is that there's 20% of, they might have a list of 1,000 keywords. And there's a lot of artificial intelligence tools like SEMrush, and you plug in your website and you get this big long list. And a lot of people carry that big long list of, I want to be number one ranked for all these keywords. And it's impossible. You can't really just say, oh, well, snap your fingers and let's get it done. But with the right training, you can hone into the top 20 or 10% of those keywords and identify them, and then report. You have to report to the client that you've identified the top 20 keywords. Usually people, how about you, Timothy? When you get a report from somebody who's an expert at something, do you like a long 50-page report to spend a whole weekend trying to understand?
No, I just want the top, 10 things, or the top 5 things, or maybe the top 20 if I'm really interested.
And possibly a sheet page, at the very beginning. But I do everything in one-page keyword audit. So that has to be given. You have to identify, just like the weight loss trainer has to step a person on a scale and identify what their current weight is, and maybe a couple of other numbers like, body weight, mass, and all the other numbers. But you have to put someone on the scale first. Identifying someone on a scale, sometimes you get some ugly numbers like fat, zeros. I can't think of a more fat number than a 0.
Yeah.
And what do you think the number one skinny number is? Do you think
9?
No, even skinnier than 9.
1.
1. Look how skinny that number is.
Yeah, good point. Okay.
It's skinny. 0s, 79s, 82s. Those are all big numbers. No one's going to go to page 9 to find your website if somebody's searching for your top trophy keyword. So you have to identify those trophy keywords.
I see what you did there. Top 1, the ranking. You're starting to answer the ranking question. I like that.
Exactly. Why do they hire an SEO company? Do they hire them to check your robot's text and robot meta tags
Heck no.
No, they hire them to get me there. They want to be number one. They want their website to pop. So again, just sum it up. This might be my last screen here. What problems do SEO companies solve? Is it poor rank delivery for top keywords of a website? Or is it the website is not popping up on the first page of Google for their top keywords? Heck yeah, it is. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's really simple. That's what the owner does. The owner has a problem. He hires an SEO company to solve it. He doesn't hire them for their checklist, even though that's what has to happen.
So let me reiterate what I'm hearing, because I was excited to learn more today based on our previous conversations, and you're working with our network, and you're working literally on our network website, making sure people can find it and it's popping up on Google, like all this stuff that we're talking about right now. So the problem that we've had and others have had is our product is solid, our service is solid. We're actually the highest rated reviewed marketing network of our kind on the planet, but our website continues to need refreshing on how people are searching for us. And we don't just want to come up like one time on the first page. We want to come up a couple of times. We want to come up on a few different places, in a few different ways, and make sure that we're not only, we can be found quickly, we can be found easily. It's clear who we are. There's not misinformation all over the place. If they search for certain words, we're definitely coming up somewhere, at least, when it comes to Google and some things. So the most common searches if I'm hearing you right, is the problem we're solving is that a company has something to offer the world. We need to find out if people actually want that by your base analysis. Like, okay, these are words that people are searching. Does this correlate and connect to your company? Are you able to line up with what people are already searching for? That's like fastest path to attention, right? Is to people are already searching for this stuff either verbally or typing it in or whatever. They're searching. They're trying to find this stuff. Once that's established, that's what I'm hearing you say anyway. Once that's established, then we go and find your top 10%, top 20%, whatever those words would that you found would be the best fit, and try to get some progress, and those coming up more and more and more and more and more and more when people are searching for those words. Like, for example, our network, we like the word coaching. That's a hard one, but we still like the word. We like the word marketing. That's another hard one. We like the word digital because the world is going digital. We like these different. I'm just naming a
Very
few.
dynamic, all dynamic keywords that cause
those are tough, right?
for us.
Those are tough, but we also like the word network. We also like the word group. We also like the word when it comes like giver. We also exactly. We like these
collaboration.
We like these different words that if people are looking for, a group to collaborate with. I'm a solopreneur and a marketing professional, and I need a group to network with, or a group to collaborate with, or a business group or something like that. We want to be able to say, hey, look at us. We're on the first page at least a couple, once or twice, at least a few times, where we're at least here when you're searching for us, as opposed to we don't show up at all.
Exactly. And
I'd be happy with just showing up with one or two of those words than not showing up at all. Like, to me, that's a win, because now you're starting to build that foundation. That's what I'm hearing you say, is find out if there's a need in the market and then make sure you show up.
Exactly. You find the data. It's empirical, and finding evidence is a mind-blowing thing. When you can give it to a personal injury lawyer or a giver marketing network or anyone who's an owner of a website or institution and organization, when you have an expert who has 26 years of finding people's top keywords and having these eye-opening experiences, not only with the owners of websites, but the digital marketers who are counting on me. The relationship I have with digital marketers mostly include a digital marketer saying, here's a website, get started. I trust that you're going to identify and find the most important keywords.
Got it. So you're the sleuth. You're the one finding the clues. You're the one finding the data. You're the researcher before you start even. You're not the fly-by-night guy who's going to break your website and then blame you on it or something. You know what I mean?
Well, after 26 years, I hope I'm not the fly-by-night, because there's been only 100%, knock on wood. Okay, I'm going to say this, but knock on wood, only 100% positive things about my company. And why there's a model that I've created called performance. I learned it 17 years ago when I did my big pivot.
Okay.
That digital marketers want to float a website out to me and get started on their top trophy keywords. And that requires a little proof in the pudding, a little bit of expertise to say, I got you covered. I can do this. Just like I have that got you covered filling out. Going after some tough dynamic keywords for Giver Marketing Group Network. Those are some tall orders of going after coaching, but it's doable, and we're working those ways out. I love how patient you are. There's a lot of technical things involved, and I think we've spoken about the technical. You got the owner has to relinquish website access, right? We got to dig in a little bit and fix. What's really made things really super easy for SEO, for all SEO companies, but I don't know if they're doing it. I'm going to give the big dirty little secret away. Google has standardized the site auditor to review a website and give a letter grade, like a B, C, D, F, just like you're back in school.
Okay.
Are you satisfied with a C grade? when you were in college or high school?
No,
No.
that's what I was afraid we were at as far as our SEO. We had like a C minus, maybe a C
Well, we
plus.
have a 29 actually.
Ooh,
So there's a
okay.
lot of work to do. We're
Yeah,
low, we're at the F grade. And it's just there's a lot of critical errors. It's technical, right?
yeah,
A front-end developer can fix those problems. I'm not a front-end developer, but I surround myself with the top best front-end developers that will
sure.
fix that in a 10-day period. These things take time. You,
Yeah.
you can't just like wish it to happen, right? You
Mhm.
can't just wish. If your car is broken and it's clunking all over town, you can't just expect it to just wake up one day and say, well, maybe that clunk will go away, right? You've got to take it in and get it, primed up. But just like with any SEO job, last time I got my spark plugs fixed and a lot of, maybe engine problems related to the spark plugs,
Mhm.
I didn't go to the technician who was fixing my car and get all the details of every little thing that he does, right?
Right.
You leave that to the experts, right?
You
They
just
have,
need a note enough to feel comfortable with that person. That's
but you got
all
to
it
feel
is.
comfortable to work with that person because of the reputation and they're doing something good.
Yeah.
That's the stock that I've put in. I'm just so happy that I had an opportunity to explain a little bit about the dirty little secrets.
Yep.
Sometimes your SEO company isn't telling you. If I were to ever write a book, the title of this whole subject is the book title that I want to still write.
Mhm.
So because of the dirty little secrets, I want to be as open and transparent as possible. So working with digital marketers, along the way, they're not going to be, I'm not able to pull a fast one on a digital marketer.
Let me
The
ask
only
you
thing
a
I can
question,
do
Mark.
is show
'Cause
transparency.
yeah,
And
your transparency is really high, and that's why you're a really good fit for our network. Can I ask you a question
yeah,
that
go
was
ahead.
kind of off script here a little bit, maybe
Go
digging
ahead.
in before we have the roundtable discussion that's coming up in a few minutes?
And if you don't mind, I want to have a follow-up question with you.
Okay.
Okay.
A lot of search engine optimization and web developers talk about backlinks.
Yeah.
Well, I know that's a little bit of an advanced conversation, and we want to get some folks, over to you and getting a instant keyword report on their website pretty quickly. But can you just give us a little, not the full like deep knowledge stuff, but just what is a backlink and how does that tie into SEO?
Well, backlinks come from requesting them from other people who are like-minded, who have a website, have a network like Giver Marketing. We're doing a backlinking campaign right now currently.
Mhm,
But that's an easy one to answer. It's one component of SEO.
mhm.
Uh, inbound inbound marketing and backlink outbound marketing on a website are both equally as important, just like ownership and managing of a Google My Business profile.
Okay.
And then I think there's a question down here is how do I find Google grade for a website? To find that is in the search console. And so now today, Google has made it really easy for SEO companies. They've standardized. So when you do a Google grade, it'll pull in your backlinks and it'll pull in your
Mhm.
inbound linking strategy and your content, and it will give you your full report. And Google provides that. In the days of 5-10 years ago, everybody had their own site audit test, and you just had to.
Oh,
So now it's
more
standardized,
standardized. And
and
do
so
you help people
backlinking is
find
just
that?
you can find that in Search Console. It's a Google product,
Can
and
you help
every
people find that?
yeah, of
Okay.
course. Of
Okay.
course, we keep a history every week. We rerun the site auditor, and then there's a couple of other Google grades like GT metrics and a few others that are also very important. They all check the core vital of a website. And the dirty little secret about SEO today versus what it used to be is all we have to do is get an A grade, and we're just following the rules. So it's made it really super easy. SEO is, if done right with, the main core things that you have to do is backlinking, like you just expressed, inbound marketing and content, and fixing your, site up,
Mhm.
and then managing that Google My Business listing, and then doing all the other kinds of things that you need to do. it made SEO. People say it's getting harder. The algorithms are getting tougher. It's actually easier now that things are standardized. I can't even tell.
Got it. Okay, so your approach, because it's, here's your baseline. This is what people are searching for. This is your company. These are the words that you express to me might be associated with your brand. I can match these up with what people are actually searching for. It's standardized now, especially through Google, that we can start there and kind of tackle the elephant in the room and actually get you some positive attention, some traffic, some
Mhm.
ranking, what you called rankings, what everybody calls
Rank
rankings,
delivery, rank
rank,
delivery.
rank delivery on Google specifically, and then maybe some other places too. But at the end of the day, is it a good place to start just by getting a keyword report that,
Yeah,
like what
you
you see on
always
the
have to start. You cannot start a website unless everyone is on the same page and understands what the mission is. The mission is in one page keyword audit, ranking report, what
Mhm.
keywords we need to solve. The problem has to be identified that we're fixing and getting us to a starting position. Just like the weight loss trainer putting a customer, a potential customer on a scale in 30 days has to be able to produce something. Or
Okay,
a
so
girl.
how do we get before we get into the roundtable discussion, how do we get to the keyword report?
Mhm.
Just go to SEOgame.com. Is it on
Yeah,
the
just go to
homepage?
SEOgame.com and I run free reports. Right there, you could just enter in your keyword and your website, and that's it. And I will produce this amazing report. It's 26 years of my superpower of being able to produce you the most fantastic. It's the keywords that your SEO company or digital marketer is not providing you. Because
Okay,
I
somebody
will.
put SEO game in the comments. Whoever's listening, put SEO game in the comments, in the chats, in the feeds. Like let's put full website www.seogame.com so that we can all benefit from Mark's expertise, and at least just a starting point. It's a free report. Let's encourage folks to at least do that. If nothing else, know where you're at, and then you can either try to tackle some of it and then kind of bring Mark in, or bring Mark in, then you tackle like whatever. Just this is non-negotiable now. Like Google is pulling websites down, well, not necessarily pulling them. Well, they're doing that too, but they're making them basically unfindable if you don't play by their rules. Am I saying that
Oh,
correctly, Mark?
you're
Are they?
saying that exactly right. If you have two dentists in the same city, let's say San Antonio dentist, and the dentist is a dental implant dentist wanting to get a $20,000 client,
Mm-hmm.
not the teeth whitening dentist, okay?
Yeah.
The hardcore dentist, right?
Yeah.
One dentist is going to be number one and one's going to be on page two, but both of them have beautiful website. Why is one website ranked number one and one not? Why is the one website not? There's
That's
one reason.
it's a great question. Well, I mean, obviously it's related to SEO in some way because you got to be found, but like what, why?
One reason only. There's a relationship. Our world is our life, our personal life is built on relationship. Websites are the same thing. A relationship with Google. They don't have a good relationship with Google. They need to hire an SEO, somebody who can help them build the relationship back up.
Okay, so there's your secret right there. You're the
Okay.
relationship doctor. You're the Google relationship doctor. I had no idea until okay. Now,
And there's a question right there. It says when a company wants to hire an SEO company, how does one know if they're good or legitimate? First of all, they have to be keyword centric. So many SEO companies and digital marketers say we don't focus on keywords. That is the biggest mistake. If somebody says, "Hey," if you come to them and say, "I really want to be number one for my keywords," and the company says, "We don't focus on keywords.
that's
We
like a
focus on our
mechanic saying, I
checklist."
don't focus on your engine.
Yeah, they don't focus on that relationship. They might focus on their checklist that says, "Oh, we're going to build you a real friendly website." Well, that doesn't mean anything. That just means they just want to take your money and build another website because they're web developers. They
Ah,
don't.
got it. So they're viewing you as a nail, and they're the hammer, and they're just like, well, this is what we do. So this is the secret to everything. It's like, no, you got to have a well-rounded approach, and you have to know what you're doing. You have to be around longer than 5 years to understand this stuff, at least to some degree, because you got to see the changes and how Google's been doing different things and how to use their tools, and you're the Google relationship doctor. I love that.
And even simplify it even more. The simplest way to do it is identify their top trophy keywords and say, here is your before shot, and we're going to have an after shot in 30 days. Otherwise, it's a kick me approach.
Is that why you do the performance guarantee?
Yeah,
is that why you do that?
30-day trial. So no rank, no pay. So I tell anyone who has a website, hey, it's like a test drive. You can kick the tires or kick me to the curb. All I'm looking for is a good kicking, because I can show you your before shot and we can identify your top trophy keywords, and then your after shot has to improve. Now, there's a lot of different other reasons why people hire a digital marketer besides just popping on the first page.
Sure. Yeah.
But really, the vendor who does the optimization, he better know how to optimize, right? That's it.
It's in the word. Like the O stands for something, right? So we got to do that. Hey, Mark, can you share that one, kind of pull back the curtain and share that one slide with where you've helped somebody for the one where you've helped them for over 30 days?
Yeah, this is great. I did a screen share in my dashboard. I'm going to go through a couple of slides, but I'm going to get to the last one really fast, because can you remove the comment from just so for 1 second here? And can you make the whole screen really big? Remove our faces. Oh, perfect. So these are just websites I started yesterday in my dashboard. 4 of them.
These are fresh, man. These are right off the press.
And I got 2 more to start just this morning after this interview.
Okay.
Then going to, let's see,
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Month ago, over a month ago. Oh my gosh. Okay.
These are just sites that started in September. All the green numbers going up are just amazing. They're sites that are already producing results in 30 days.
Okay.
And yes, it's been about 30 days. And that's why I give it the 30-day trial, because they can log into the dashboard. They can actually see their websites. They can see the ranking improvements. They're their top keywords. They're making monumental historic results. Now, any SEO company, here's another indicator of how to hire the best SEO company. They have to produce in 30 days. Bottom line. Wow. Because if they don't produce in 30 days and they give you the long run of, it takes 6 months, a year, I hear it takes more, that just means they just want to take your money for a long time.
Okay.
That's it.
There better be a good reason if that's happening, right? Like you can't just say it takes longer. Trust me.
Yeah, bring our faces back and let's bring that panel in. I think it's too good to be true. Many of you guys might be saying that, but visibility has to be done in the first 30 days. I'm looking for some antagonistic people. Somebody who says, well, wait, Mark, you just hold it right there. Are you trying to tell me that you're transparent, but what does transparency really mean? I asked that question to you really quick. I told you I'd have a question for you. What does transparency mean? Since I work with digital marketers, Timothy, we're not pulling each other's leg. We're talking shop. We're getting real technical. And then I throw that T word, transparency. What do you think the word transparency means? What's the fruit of transparency?
Gosh, it's one of our core values. So it's telling the truth, even if it hurts a little bit. It doesn't always necessarily mean you're telling them every little detail of every little nuance, but it means if they ask and it's important, you're telling them the truth, even if it hurts a little bit.
All right, that's great. And identifying to a peer, like from one SEO company to another SEO company, I have to be as transparent as possible. They're not going to sit there. They're not going to buy this old excuse of we're going to do our magic and it's all proprietary. You can't understand it, right?
Those days are kind of over. That ended about 20 years ago. Honestly, a lot of that.
Well, to be honest, I talked to a lot of digital marketers that still talk about their proprietary ways of doing things.
Just give me some results. Let's go.
But the fruit of transparency, I'm here to tell you something that you may not know. The fruit of transparency, the fruit of knowing who is telling you something that you should listen to, is somebody who transfers over and gives you and transfers over the ownership. Transferability is the fruit of transparency.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So you don't always have to be in control with your secret sauce hidden in the back. You actually share the secret sauce recipe a little, and you give them control and let them
full control.
Full control. Okay, I like that.
Link building reports, for instance, are a full control of here's all the usernames and passwords. We didn't do a private blog network. We didn't do spammy links. We didn't do anything like that to hurt your website.
Nothing sketchy.
We are transferring you over the ownership, and every month we do that. And so that's just a key thing to do as business owners in any career, whether you're a digital marketer and you're serving your clients, you're a coach, you're anybody. A successful business person will explain transparency, but then show the fruit of
Write that down, ladies and gentlemen. Give them control, so they feel like your partners, not slaves. The process, like give them control, give your clients control, and if they don't want to work with you, they don't want to work with you. Like, let them go. Like, they're going to be a headache anyway. So, like, I'm just being honest. Like, you don't want to work with somebody that's only there because of control. That's like relationship 101, right? So, all right. Thank you, Mark, for the relationship advice and a little bit of SEO training today. That's been, I love it. I love it. He's the Google relationship doctor over here. Like, just let's build that relationship. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, how did Mark do? Thumbs up?
He did amazing. And we have some questions here. So I'm going to pop them up one by one there, right, Mark, for you to answer. So you've seen this one. Were you able... Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, we covered that one, I think.
Okay, good.
If we didn't cover it, just ask it a different way. We'll be good.
And then there's this one, the website you build. Are this for what type of businesses? Not okay.
Yeah, I don't know that it's necessarily about building the website today. It's more about optimizing that website so that it can be found. But to answer that person's question, that would maybe be for another day. Yeah.
So there's another one.
I love this question. This is an amazing question. I work for an international organization that wants to be #1 for the Russian search engine, Yandex, the Chinese search engine for China, Zandu or whatever it's called. Bindu. There's Bing. Did you know I'm the only SEO company that knows how to do Bing SEO? No one really cares about Bing. I can get #1 results in 15 days. And that's an amazing search engine to be #1. It's probably the most used. I'm not Yahoo and DuckDuckGo. I'm not familiar with. Well, Yahoo is kind of just, I don't know.
So my suggestion, Facebook user here who asked this question, go ahead and connect with Mark, and you can have a deeper dive on that.
There you go. So Google and Bing is what I'm hearing are the top 2 that you want to really focus in on, and then the leftover attention you can give to maybe Yahoo and some others.
If you want to be #1 with Bing, it's really easy. You just have to get your Bing business location, and you have to just treat it like a Facebook page with a social media. You just have to post and get your address in there and just register it and nurture it.
Just some basic things on Bing, and you're golden, right?
But no one does that. No one really does that very good.
Okay.
All
right.
We do Google My Business a lot, but we don't do Bing My Business.
Got it.
Joel, you had a question that you put. So how do snippets enhance search results? That's what Joel was asking in comments as well.
Well, snippets are part of the inbound marketing strategy. And snippets are critical because you can get in your Google SERP, which stands for search engine ranking page, that first page, you can get flyouts on the first page. So not only can you tell and throw your website in there and use snippets, you can also you can direct people what they can see better. And this is really important for more real estate companies. Real estates love using snippets. So I just say for some industries, it's more important than others.
Okay.
Are they usually
Tim, you had a
locally?
good question. Go ahead, Tim Solmonson.
No, I was paying attention to your spreadsheet, the back end there of your dashboard, and at one of the universities, there's a big red mark of how the local change went down when the other Google went up. I don't understand all that, but I just had a question.
No question. No problem. I mean, part of SEO is, again, like the weight loss trainer I was explaining, that analogy where you have to step them on the scale and understand what this. So we never logged into that one university site, but it could be just one keyword throwing that number down. And remember, those are just websites that started in the last 30 days. So it's fun to just be able to tell a story by numbers. And just like if you were trying to shed a few pounds and hiring a weight loss trainer, you better believe it. The weight loss trainer is telling you the story of the future of the what your body and your life is going to be like when you feel physically fit and strong enough and get your youth back. So, I could shed a few pounds myself. So
Well, it reminds me of the journey that I and many others have had, where you'll lose 20 pounds and then you gain 5 pounds over Thanksgiving, and you got a little bit of a red number there. But in the long game, most of the numbers are green or good.
But they may not improve because of the reason of the owner. The owner has to give a little too. The owner has to give admin access and ownership and relinquish things. And if the owner is, after 30 days, is still holding back, saying, well, why don't you just tell us what to do to fix it? When you're sitting by with your front-end developer saying, we're ready to go. We're ready to go through our checklist and fix things. And the owner's like saying, well, it's a trust issue. So a lot of times those are just results in the first 30 days. And the owner may not have given us all the, full access to the website. It is one thing that comes to mind. So.
Joel, feel free to jump in. Feel free to jump in and ask your question.
Yeah, so a lot of great stuff here, Mark, and I certainly appreciate your insights. And one of the kind of little used or little known search results segments is the Ask a Question section of the search engine results page. Mm-hmm. And I can't for the life of me. I mean, I kind of dig around and go in a rabbit hole once in a while, as most of us do, and trying to figure these things out as a marketing person. And the feedback that I get from Google is, of course, it's totally up to Google to answer that question based on that. So my question to you is, can you give advice on how to structure your website so that you show up under the Ask a Question section of the search engine results page?
And I believe for the audience, trying to understand Joel's question, the premise is he's asking the question for what's called negative SEO. It isn't really part of the search engine ranking. It is part, but Google sometimes for certain keywords interacts and gives people a Q&A, and that's done through snippets. And it's done on certain searches, and it's called the negative SEO. I mean, it's not part of a ranking. It's up there, and what Google giveth today, Google might taketh away. So that's just a part that is part more of the snippets and finding good questions. It's great for people who have websites that are trying to use snippets, and so that might be a more technical question. Please just talk to me about it, and we'll discuss what your problem is, and we always deliver whatever your expectations are.
So Timothy has another question. Can snippets be used well for any local business or mostly real estate companies?
Well, it can be used well if you have somebody who basically all you have to do to find your website on the first page of a zero search in a high on the first page of Google, but it's not in a ranking order. It's just above all of that. You have to kind of reverse engineer on another website that's already there. You have to come to us as a digital marketer if you're not familiar with doing it yourself, and you have to say, get me there. You just really have to just identify what the problem is, because sometimes we as digital marketers, I'm not too focused on a 0 ranking. I'm focusing on the number 1 ranking, the number 2, number 3. And so those are the things that I can affect in my wheelhouse. But I do have specialty powers to reverse engineer and see what someone else is doing and saying, I think we can beat them off and get our website up there. And I've done that before. So that's a good question.
So there's some things, it sounds like, that are really like in our control, more than other strategies that might be like hacks, but those hacks may not work for long term, and they may not work at all.
They may not work at all.
We can try, and maybe they work for a few weeks, maybe they don't, but is it really worth all that time to be able to hack the system? Reverse engineering is one thing to see if you can kind of eventually get there, but what I'm hearing you say is there's some things that are better uses of time with Google. We actually want to have a good relationship with them, not a nefarious one or some other workaround based on that relationship with Google, with rare exception, right?
It's just what Google gives. Google will interact things that will be like images and video at the first page, and people will come to us and say, "Hey, wait a second. I want to have my YouTube channel pull up on the first page of Google with that little snippet." And so you have to identify what you want. A lot of times, if I'm just doing rank delivery and focusing on the number 1 ranking and the 3-pack, and then, that's the Google My Business listings or profiles. And then there's the organic right below that. And I'm trying to get the website to show up on both locations. That's one thing. That's my sole focus. If the owner of the website says, but wait, there's more. Can you get me this negative? Can you get me this listing where I'm doing a Q&A up above, or my YouTube video listed? Well, sometimes I might be able to say yes, and I might say, well, we can try. But it's, there's no buttons on the end of, on my end or anyone's end saying, boom, boom, boom. Okay, now that I followed all the rules, Google's going to reward me for it. And sometimes you just never, you can bang your head in the wall. And I always say this, you can always just keep banging and trying, but Google ain't listening.
Stacy or Beth, anybody, I see a question on the screen here, but anybody else that we missed?
No, that's pretty good. That's good for the comments so far that we have in there. But yeah, so let's see about this question here. So with Google about to tank their analytics in January, would it be worth working with someone who does know other search engines?
Interesting. The good old, I've been in, how many lectures have I been involved with the analytics side of Google? I think the only search engine you should be focusing on is your own, that Google My Business profile, the Google profiles. A lot of people treat our Facebook and our LinkedIn profiles so reverently, and we do so much work on it, and yet we neglect our Google My Profile, and we're not doing questions and answers properly. We should be doing a weekly post, and we should be focusing on getting content in there. I think that's the best search engine you should probably focus on, is the Google My Profiles. Outside of that, Bing. Why not get a Bing profile and be number 1 for Bing and just be the only person there because no one else is doing it?
And there's a certain demographic for Bing that's a little different than those that search on Google.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a certain, depending on your industry, right? I mean, you're going to show up at different places for different reasons, right?
Well, you get those new computers and they embed Edge. Remember the old debate between Netscape and Microsoft, and there was back in the year 2021, there was this big huge debate, and there was a big lawsuit. Microsoft got sued by Netscape, and it's all about embedding. Well, Microsoft never learned they still embed, and people get computers and they don't even use Google. They just use Bing because that's what their computers.
Because it's default setting. So there's a certain maybe like a certain, maybe an older crowd or a certain type of computer they use, or a certain age range or something that Bing might be a little bit more conducive. We work with many clients where their perfect client is right in that. That's a good demographic for them. Awesome.
Yeah. Have you ever used Edge before, Timothy, or anyone? Every time you close it down, it says, "Do you want to make Edge your default browser?"
Yeah, it scares me really bad, but
Okay.
I got you. I some people that let's just go with what's easier. Like, let's just do that. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a different route to a certain type of demographic or a certain type of potential customer. Beth, did you have anything to add? Any thoughts? Any just learning and growing? Okay, good. I love it. Love it. All the questions.
Awesome. We are pretty much at the top of the hour. So I want to say thank you to everyone for joining in, and the comments are coming through. I dropped Mark's booking links. So if you want to go deeper, there's a booking link there. Please go ahead, grab a time with Mark. And he's an awesome person to get on a Zoom call with, and he's a world of knowledge with lots of different things. So same time, same channel, next Tuesday will be all about promotions. Come on back.
Thanks, Mark. Good job. SEOgame.com.